Thank you. I'm very well aware that I'm in between you and lunch. So I'm going to skip quite a number of slides so we can all go to lunch earlier. Thank you very much. And I think just now, a very good presentation on Johnny Walker. I have the privilege of being there quite a few times. I really enjoy having my dinner there. So, you know, I encourage everybody to go there as well. Okay, I'm trying to debate whether I should speak in English or Chinese, so I probably turn to Chinese a little bit later. I think very interesting speakers this morning. We have seen a lot of very innovative things in marketing, a lot of technology, and I've been in branding myself for actually over 30 years. So, and I really seen the transition. So what's happening to brands? Maybe I can summarize that, you know, right now from building brand, what are we really building? I think we're really building open brands. This is a quote for myself. This is my own motto. So I think in brand building, what we have always be ready to do, we always have to be willing to break new grounds and try new things. And this is what I think today's branding is all about. What is open brands, or what is closed brands? Brands that we used to do before. And it is very targeted at mass audiences, it's monologue, it's building awareness, it's push, it's guided communication, it's really created by marketers, and it's all really about brand management. We always talk about brand management. Today, it's about fostering communities, which we just see just now. It's about dialogue and engagement. It's pull, it's communication is very transparent. It's co-creation with consumers, and it's about brand stewardship, not just brand management. So really open means always on demand. It's personal, it's engaging, it's networked. So, and all this I think is what we have just seen. You know, the Oreo example is a very good example of being an open brand. And it's really all about all products are the same. It's all about really people power. It's making consumers really the guardian and the creators. And it's also about all this in the social setting. And I think we've seen a lot of examples today. And I'm going to skip all these slides because I think you all know that. And that is, why is it particularly important in China about social and all this digital? Because China really leads the world, whether it's internet penetration, social networking participation, smartphone usage, we're the most engaged, and also in buying, in purchasing through the internet, in instant messaging, in search, etc. So we are very, very much ahead of the game. But I think what's very interesting is, you know, being in advertising all these years, you know, we always been asked the question, what's the ROI? Why am I spending so much money on advertising? And even right now, we're in social media, we're asked, well, so if all these fans, are you turning all these fans into money for me? So I think these are the questions, but I think now we can do all that. We can really turn social media platforms, link up with e-commerce, and really, really get return on investments. And it is because it is happening already in China, integrating e-commerce and social media. It is happening with Alibaba, who is in e-commerce and buying a lot of social media platforms. It is, and because the world is driving towards customer experience and engagement, which we saw with Johnny Walker, with Oreo, etc. It's about continued proliferation, digital Darwinism, and really we see a lot of data. But the thing is, how are we going to use all this consumer data? So I hope I'm going to show you some examples about how we do it. And Alibaba Group is getting into mobile social media, traditional e-commerce, taxi apps, cloud. They're getting into integrating everything. Same with Tencent. They're doing the reverse. They're getting from social media into e-commerce. So we talk about the vending machine that Stella just showed. So, you know, Weibo, and they're all doing that. So really to know what's happening in China, to be ahead of the game, all we need to know is the BATs. Not British American Tobacco, I used to work on. But so if we know what the BATs are doing, then we are in the game. So I think these are the key tracking parameters for when you know doing business in China. So with that background, we cannot fall behind. So we've been transforming. So when I start We in 2005, what I want to do is I want to build a global company that is made for Chinese people. So Chinese-owned global company. And we want to be the brand builders. This has never changed. But being the brand builder, in end of '05, what we started is advertising, because we're, basically in advertising. So we started We Market Group, which is building brand awareness, building desire and interest. 3 years ago, I saw the opportunity in social media. So social media, because China is entirely different, I find that there are local social media, but international agencies actually do not know how to do social media in China, because it's very much local content. So we started a company, which is WeDigital, focusing on China social, which is Weibo at that time. And very few people actually do Weibo, and now WeChat, etc. And it's all about engagement and advocacy. So as of December of 2013, I started my third company, which is WeCommerce. And what we do is e-commerce. So what we're trying to do is linking advertising, social media to actually real purchase, shop and buy. What is good is that e-commerce gives us a lot of data analytics. We can go back and optimize everything else that we do. So why am I so interested in e-commerce? Because the world is shifting from offline to online. China has overtaken the US in terms of e-commerce penetration, etc. And so I looked at one of my clients, which is Kelson's Butter Cookies. I have worked on this client for 34 years. And I created their kind of first advertising 34 years ago. And so 3 years ago when I started social media, I said, you got to do social media. And they did. And e-commerce, also my first client. In fact, I got the client before I started the company. So very fortunate to have two clients, Kelson's and Campbell's. My client is there. They are my two founding clients before I started my e-commerce. But anyway, the way that we convinced Kelson's is we said, look at the category. The category is growing at 89%, but you are falling behind. So if you don't start to control your own e-commerce and just let your distributor do it, you know what is going to happen? You're going to lose share in this biggest market. So they let us do it, because I said, we can do it for you to take over the control of the most important channel again. So I think health is an interesting case. This is a newspaper in Hong Kong that says, 这个蓝罐曲奇啊，我做了30多年了，是我第一个客户，那是永远没有死掉的。它是一个品牌，从来80多年没有任何的创新。它只是一个曲奇，大家吃过蓝罐曲奇吗？5个款，从来没有创新的，没有什么新科技，没有包装，都没有创新。但是为什么永远是第一？还有它是最赚钱，永远第一，卖的最多，还有价格还有比较贵，那是怎么做的呢？This brand is very interesting because it's never had any innovation. It's not like, Mondelez. No product innovation, 80 years, the same recipe, the same product, no packaging change either. But they have always been number one and has been very profitable, so profitable they were bought by Campbell's last year. So let's look at the advertising that I was involved in, which really started the brand 35 years ago in Hong Kong as the leading gift-giving brand. Whoops, 怎么办呢？不对，部分视频对。好，你帮我拍一下。可以。喂，这个，对。It really looks like it's 30-something years old.
又是帶住兩顆蕉就去探人，點好意思㗎
？Basically, it says don't go visiting friends with a bunch of bananas. Means empty-handed.
送丹麥藍罐曲奇，邊個都啱，幾時都啱。丹麥藍罐曲奇係牛油曲奇第一家，鬆化又好食。丹麥藍罐曲奇，一向得人鍾意。
Okay, so this positioning, this product, this packaging has never changed. And it's because of this advertising, up to today, is still the #1 gift-giving brand. And because of this ad, we won Wrigley chewing gum at that time. Because Wrigley's like, this is the best advertising, very literal, you see, if I go visit friends, I need, okay, but that doesn't mean you don't change. So the advertising, although positioning never changed, we evolved from the 80s to, you don't go visiting heads with a bunch of bananas, to, from the angle of the receiver. So different kids, very, what is their favorite gift? You want to give a safe gift, you should give Kelson's. Then now in Hong Kong, we use very localized stars to get the local relevance, so they are really up to date. And in China, we have to emphasize one thing, because there are a lot of copycats. We emphasize the fact they're really from Denmark, the only one really import from Denmark. Because why? We have a lot of copycats. So this one is called Denisa. They copy, they say they're from Denmark, but actually they are from Indonesia. And this is actually from our e-commerce site. These are pictures that we have done, put on our current Taobao. This is a copycat, actually even copying all our pictures and putting on their Taobao. So this is what's happening, okay? They're all copying, they're all from Denmark. So the reason why they are number one is because maybe no product innovation, but continuous marketing innovation. So 3 years ago, they were the first really to go into social media, because at that time, not the people going to Weibo. So through that, we have a more strategic approach. We do listening, community, content, interaction, integration, so I'm going to talk about all that. But we use Weibo to do brand building, cultivate community, synergize promotions, and now drive traffic to e-commerce. So for example, this is the front page, and you will see that we have the background page with synergize with branding. We have a navigation bar, we have notice boards, and we also tell people we have e-commerce. So we have general feeds to cultivate community with editorial calendar. We have occasional festive campaigns like Seven Sister Festival, April Fool's Day, Valentine's Day. So you see that we're trying to capture a younger audience, not the very old audience, in their language. Like Mid-Autumn, we would associate with different personalities and so on. And then we want to create the story. We are from Denmark. So what we talk about is fairy tales, So we ask people to create stories and edit fairy tale storybooks to engage them. Then we also drive people to our e-commerce site when we launched last year in December 21st. When you first launch, for the first 3 months, you cannot advertise in Tmall. So how do people know you have a shop? We can only drive through e-commerce, social media. So we also use WeChat. So WeChat, we have different ways to have slogan and TVC, and we talk about our promotion on WeChat, on e-commerce to drive people there. We also use Douban, where we have poster campaign, etc. So I'm just showing you all this. I'm not going through all the detail. Basically, how we use this media to engage the audience in a very traditional product, and we find that, wow, there are actually a lot of fans interested in what we're doing. So how do we get into e-commerce? Well, first of all, we define our own role. Of course, we want to be your online sales. But what we're really doing is create brand differentiation. What we're really doing is we have a lot of customer analytics, brand loyalty, and more importantly, unlike most TPs, service providers, we don't just do the site for them. We do all the customer service, warehousing and logistics. We're actually their online distributor. We actually take position. We also do their wholesale. So we do resale, wholesale, and we actually help them do their pricing structure, how they should price, and police their pricing structure online. So we actually, we are their key account. Okay, we're their customer. We order goods from them and take position. So that's the biggest difference. So the flagship store that we do, you see on the front is the front page. It is, we know the branding things, but different themes to attract different users. We are the brand agency, so we know how to create a brand story from Denmark and all that stuff. We have our customer service who have direct contact with the customer, and we create little icons, to make it more friendly. Then product strategy. We define the product strategy. So how we do it? We want to have e-commerce exclusive SKUs, but they don't innovate. So what do? Very simple. So we ask the client, just cut your most popular item, 908, by half. So 600G. The other one by half, 340G. Very simple. No need to do any innovation. So no direct price comparison. Okay, so these are e-commerce exclusive products. We then make an excuse. Okay, this one is because it's 80 years anniversary, so we come up with this. Now they have one packaging they always had, the one with the gold pack. So we just renamed it 讨好金. 讨好金就是讨好. So just rename it by local language, immediately become number 4 top selling item. Then the other thing is pricing strategy. We do not doesn't mean that in the internet you do low pricing. So for example, the best-selling item is this 908 gram. We sell for $109. Walmart is selling for $89. Yihaodian is selling for $89 plus free shipping. Okay, so how do we compete on pricing? Well, we still put it there. At this price we're selling because not everybody is price sensitive. But what we do is a lot of product bundling. So we bundle different types of packaging sizes, etc., flavors. So you can't really directly compare, and we offer more attractive price. So by that, we increase the basket value, we increase the margin, we increase the offer value. Then when Sanyao happened, our competitor Nisa was broadcast as they are actually not from Denmark, etc. So we immediately took advantage of that and put in their input license. You can see this is from Indonesia. And then we say, you know what? In 2012, the safety ranking of products, number 2 is Denmark. Indonesia is number 64. So which one do you want to buy? So it can be instant feedback. So on social media, because not only do we use social media to drive traffic there, as a result of e-commerce, we increase our Weibo fans by 290,000. So it's actually a loop back. And so this is what we're doing to generate traffic. And then we also use advertising. Now, anyway, twice a year they do advertising. Chinese New Year and Mid-Autumn. Anyway, this is done. So we add in our in-train store sticker, we have a Tmall shop. And then we put in a click-through to our site, the digital advertising and the video. So, but we track everything. All the media buy, we track every media buy, every post. We track how many impressions, how many landed on our media site, how many go to and buy, and actually how many purchases. So I don't want to reveal all the confidential data, but by every media, we know exactly the conversion rate, their transaction value, and how much they buy. And what do we use this for? Go back and see which is a better media, not just because they've got all these GRPs and impressions, whatever. It's actually who's driving purchase. We also know who's buying. So we know who is buying through this ad they click in from Chengdu or wherever. What is the average transaction price? And I didn't put in there, I also know their conversion rate. And I know it right away. So, apart from social media and advertising, the most effective is still the platform promotion. So this is platform promotion we do. This is within Tmall, we do search advertising. So we do maybe 40 versions of this, different search words and optimize on the go, and create the best ROI. So as a result, we started the shop in December 21st. On January the 8th, which is a promotion day for Chinese New Year, before we start the shop, they ranked number 30. After we started the shop, within just 10 days, as a result of our promotion, they go back to number 1. And they made the sales of $800,000 in one day. Now, for past year, 1 year, they only sold 2 million. In one day, we sold 800,000. In fact, for the month, we sold every day of the sale for the whole year. As a result, sold out, because we didn't expect so much. So all this was sold out, so it has to be pulled off the shelf. And we increased their January sales versus by 44% and exceeded target by 550%. Also, this just shows that all the item, where's the traffic coming from? By far, is always coming from your Tmall promotions and what you do in Tmall. So you need to understand how to do platform advertising. That is always generating the most cost-effective advertising. You can still use mass media, but the return is not so high. The SKUs that we promoted as a result are the best-selling in our shop, 35%. We raised the basket value in the past from $65 to $143. And this is the estimate of ROI. So we know that, for example, our 直通车 search advertising, our ROI is 1 to 8. That means I put $1 in advertising. I put it there, and then they click and then buy, they spend $8 on purchase. So it's extremely measurable ROI. So we keep optimizing. Now, 1 to 8 is actually very high. A lot of brands maybe 1 to 1 or 1 to negative or 1 to 4. Average is about 1 to 4. And so apart from Chinese New Year, this is like Women's Day. So we said 女王啊. But you see, there's no innovation. Products still the same, okay? But you just keep different themes. That's how they're very profitable. You don't have to spend so much money on technology. Since for Women's Day, we do a little promotion. Again, they are number 1 in that category. So in the biscuit category, they're number 4, just because the other 3 were very, very cheap brands, okay? And then within the Taobao system, all the top 3 selling products are all from our Tmall shop. And we have very good ratings from consumers. We know their consumer feedback. Now, this is very interesting. We know from the back end, every day, this is just an example of one day, how many people come in to our store, how many have bought, like 9 people have bought, 1,200 have not bought, maybe they haven't bought anything, so most of them haven't bought anything. But 31 people have bought other brands. Then we know what brands they have bought and why. Now, this is very, very good customer analytics to know what you should be doing next. So we get this every day. So just to summarize, now, if you're doing e-commerce, I think the mistake is don't get your advertising people to do it, because that certainly will fail, because they have their own hat in there. So get somebody else to do it and, and integrate them. So first of all, because online and offline are always fighting. Okay, so your offline retailers always fighting offline. But don't burn money. Everything is about ROI. The thing to die is very slow. If you traditional advertising is too slow. The other thing is, I'm the brand, so I can't discount, then you'll die as well. Price war is when it all happens. Procrastination, something takes too long. So everything we do is instant decision by the minute. And if you have a culture allow no mistakes, you die, because we want to test everything. We test and then refine, test and refine, continuous optimization. Don't put old thinking hats into new e-commerce business. And the last is, you don't know why you're huli wutu si. So I was talking about really what we're now building is open brands. To build open brands, what you need is, what the world is giving us is really open opportunities. In the past, unless you are General Foods, you are Mondelez now, you are very big companies, you have no chance of succeeding in China, because you have no money to advertise, and you can't get on Walmart, you have no chance. Now, everybody is equal, because as long as you have an open mind. Why? Because if you identify the right segment, don't try to be everything to everybody. Now you have e-commerce, where you can test what you don't have to pay any listing fee or whatever fee, okay? You can test it. So maybe it's now reverse order. Then you can use social media to create that desire, create that need, viral it. And when you get big enough, then you advertise. Then you go to build your physical stores. Then you build a big brand. But overall, it's learnings, optimization, on the go all the time. And however, having said that, whatever you do, I think at the end, there is a brand culture. So we're not just selling products. It's really selling about the brand culture, which guides just your guiding principle in everything you do. The way you do your shop, the way you do promotions, the way you do social, the way you even handle your staff. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.